Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. Before we get going, I want to give a big shout out to all the channel members. Thank you so much for your extra support. Whether you're a pack member, whether you're a member of the Watch, you're all a member of the Jedi Knights Watch, and I appreciate each and every one of you and your generosity. Your membership goes towards figure reviews, updating equipment, and just overall enhancing the channel, so thank you so much. If anybody is curious on what it means to be a channel member, go check it out on my page. You get emojis, video shout outs, exclusive videos, and we do giveaways for members only at times as well. So please consider becoming a channel member. All right, friends, enough of that. Time to sit back, grab your drink, and enjoy the show. It's Wolfpack time, baby. I think Riley has the best Too Sweet. And with that, I want to say happy Wolfpack Wednesdays to you all. Too sweet to my boys on the panel. Too sweet to all of you out there in the chat watching in YouTube land. This is episode 68. Not only is it Wolfpack Wednesdays, which makes, the week for us, but it's also the eve of the 2024 NFL football season. Football is back tomorrow. I don't know about you guys, if we got any football nerds out there as well, but we are excited to watch some football again. So looking forward to that. Glad you guys are here. DLO's year might not be as fun as Brick and mine, but either way, it's football, baby. How are you guys doing tonight?
Well, this is the happiest of the football season I'm going to be. Let's start with that. So it's all downhill from here, baby. I'm hopeful. I'm energetic. I'm positive. It's probably going to be the last time I say those words in the same sentence the rest of the year. Let's go.
Serious question for you. Are you hoping for good things or bad things so then you can just reset next year?
Indecisive. It's kind of awkward. Like, do you root against your children to do
How do you
well?
do
Or, do you put Ben on the team that's got the better odds and bigger payout? Who knows? But I just hope we just have a good football season. I just hope I win in fantasy. That's it. I mean, we tank, we lose, we get a good quarterback next year, but I make tons of money, so I can afford all these ridiculous figures that we're trying to get. I'll take that too.
That's what it's always been about, is fantasy. Actually, that's what it's about nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah, and money.
Yeah, money.
Well, Brick, are you a Cleveland fan tonight, or
man,
what's going on with that
Cleveland,
jersey?
to be honest with you, I used to.
Hopefully, nobody hears from Cleveland.
Cleveland, the city, is great. I mean, I think Cleveland, the city,
Nothing wrong with Cleveland.
is the biggest underdog city in the nation, to be honest. I mean, they got the NFL Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They've got Christmas Story House. They got a lot of good stuff there in Cleveland. So I had a lot of fun there when I went. But I was a huge Baker Mayfield fan coming out of college, and I was rooting for Cleveland for a while. And I then saw how they treated Baker, and I rooted for him, even when he sucked in Carolina, when he had that amazing comeback in LA, having like 1 day of practice, if that, and kicked some ass in Tampa last year. So to prove the world. So I'm a Baker fan. Packers first, baby, for sure. But I wanted to be a little different. I wore my new Josh Jacobs jersey a couple weeks ago. I wanted to put on some, put on some Baker Mayfield and show my underdog appreciation. So, but that being said, I'm with you, DLO. When football seems like it's just like when your team seems like they kind of suck, or you're just not really, I don't know, you still have fantasy. You know what I mean? So then you grow to like all these other players and watch other games, and NFL becomes a whole new thing because it's a game.
Well, and that was the thing growing up. We didn't have Red Zone or anything like that. I didn't even have cable or anything. So you just watched the Packer game and then maybe one other game. And if you sucked, which luckily we didn't suck too much, but if you did, that's all you get. It's crappy football. Yeah. Nowadays, at least you can enjoy other football teams as well. Still a fan of your home team, but it's just nice to be entertained. So
you guys are like the least relatable football friends I could possibly have. Like, oh, it's so hard being Packers. We had Brett Favre, and now we have Aaron Rodgers, and now suddenly Jordan Love is good.
Well, hold on.
How many Super Bowls you got?
Hold on.
4?
I have more than you, baby.
So, no,
exactly.
we both have 4.
But hold on.
So 4?
Yes.
It is hard being a Packers fan. We lost to you guys like I don't know how many times in the playoffs since I've been alive.
That was nice. Those are good times.
2007, 2010.
We had Brett Favre. We had Aaron Rodgers. And every year you feel like you're going to win it, and you're just nothing. You get nothing out of it. You got 2 Super Bowls in like 30 years.
All right.
That's hard.
I know. He's like, oh, you guys aren't relatable. Now, we've been
I
consistently good, though, since 92.
Yeah,
so, I mean, we do have that
consistently
going
good, but I'd rather just know my team's going to suck and not have hopes. It's so hard to be like, hey, we're in the NFC Championship again. There's another pick.
Well, there's room over here if you want to join on board.
No, I don't actually.
That's exactly what I'm going to go.
You could keep repping that Cleveland jersey for the rest of your life.
I take it back. I'd rather be back.
Oh, boy.
Alrighty. Well, let's see who's joining us tonight. We do have, obviously, figures to talk about, so don't worry in case you're not into football. We got Giovin here in the house. Evening, everyone. Forgot it was Wednesday today, so thrown off from the 3-day weekend. Yeah, for sure. These short weeks always seem like the longest, for sure. We got a channel member action in the box. Good evening, fellow collectors. What's going on, Ricardo? I know he's pumped for the green and gold coming up on Friday night. Going to be playing down in his home country of Brazil, so that's really cool for him. We got Nomar. Hello, Wolfpack. Always good to have you here each and every week. Thank you for the support. Speaking of support, we got Doc back in the house. Evening all, just popping in to say hello. We'll catch the replay tomorrow. Enjoy the show. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Adric23 is here as well, another channel member. Hello, collectors. Luke Christian, happy Wednesday, Wolfpackers. I like what you did there. Very nice. Howard Potts, another channel member. Too sweet. Thank you, Howard, for dropping in and joining us on Wednesday night. Valkyrie Magnus, another channel member. Thank you guys so much for the support. Good evening, guys. Wolfpack Wednesday time, and he's got the Graham emoji going on there. Movie Cannon, what's going on, Geo? Evening collectors, ready for the juice because it's loose. Yeah, who's all going to see Beetlejuice this weekend? Raise of hands here.
Oh yeah,
this weekend. Very good. Very
good.
good.
On Sunday with the family.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that. And we'll talk a little Beetlejuice here coming up tonight. We got Christian Cooper. What's up, Wolfpack? What's up, my guy? We got Anorak 418. Hey everyone. Hello. Universal Key. Thank you for being here again. Born again with the question of the intro. Says, hello Wolfpack. The NFL season starts this week. Do you have any week 1 traditions or superstitions? I always wear my favorite shirt and get pizza and wings. Thanks for the show. Whew, that's a good question. I'm not too superstitious, but I'm not gonna lie. I've had like a lucky football I hold on to, and if there's one that we lose a little bit more of, then I don't hold on to it as much. Or like if I find a jersey isn't really doing it, I have that in the back of my head where I fear wearing it. but I don't let it stop me, like, totally. So I'm a little stitious, but I'm not superstitious. And as it goes for week 1 traditions, maybe pizza. Yeah, pizza and just sitting down and watching football. So how about you guys?
Yeah, ever since I guess the Packers went to the Super Bowl in 2010, I ended up so I had the whole Beatles set, so like the Beatles, right? Yeah, Beetlejuice, that's funny. But I had, the band the Beatles, I had like all their albums, and it was like in this big box set. Well, I really wanted a Greg Jennings jersey, so I traded that in to get a Greg Jennings jersey because we were going to the Super Bowl. I was like, I need a new jersey. Like, I need to come up with like $100 real quick. And I was young, college, like, so I had to trade that in. And we won the Super Bowl with that jersey on. So every week 1, beginning of the season, I've worn a Greg Jennings jersey. Week 1.
I did not know that about you.
I might change that this year and wear that Jacobs jersey. So, yeah. But I always get wings. Maybe not every week 1, but I love getting my wings. Peanut M&Ms, pizza.
Peanut M&Ms.
I got those ready.
Salsa.
Yeah.
Good. Chips and salsa, baby. Like finger foods, It's always good.
Very nice. How about you, DLO? Just Kleenex and
That was a cheap shot. No, I don't necessarily have a anything sort of that like, but I do have somewhat of superstition that it's not necessarily for week 1, but I no longer buy a jersey of a player who's active anymore. I've been burned. Like everybody that we've had that's decent over the last course of maybe 5-6 years, I've bought their jersey and they've either, got injured after having one good season or got released or trade. So I have a whole closet of non-New York Giants jerseys, including the one I'm wearing tonight here. So the new rule is like, unless they're like retired, I will buy their jersey. But if you're an active player, I won't touch it just because I feel like I'll jinx you and ruin your career.
Sure. I gotta say that
that's not too weird, is that?
No, that's not too weird. That jersey's dope, though. I mean, I gotta say that one-handed catch is probably one of the best plays that I've ever seen, and that I enjoy watching too. Like I could just watch that highlight over and over again.
Ironically, though, I bought this jersey, and literally he went to his team, like that same season. Like he just signed his big 5-year contract, and then
that was weird, man. He was definitely
that's right.
Honestly,
money.
Yeah, he was a little immature at the time.
Super. He was bad. I saw him play in Tampa when he played against the Bucks. First time I get to see him live, he was throwing the biggest tantrum on the sideline, like kicking Gatorade.
I was gonna say, is that the
kicking one with the neck hit him in the head?
No, that was another. That was another time. This wasn't caught on TV. I paid premium money. I spent like this is the first time I get to see my Giants play in years in Tampa where I live, and I spent like maybe $1,000 for like 50-yard line tickets on the visitor side. I mean, decent price for a ticket. Don't get me wrong. Back then it was cheaper because there was no Tom Brady back then, right?
Right.
But got tickets because Giants still sucked, But hey, we had Odell, we had Eli, we had Sterling Shepard. We had a decent little team there. But anyways, I got to see him up close, and I was like, wow, this is worse than what they show on TV. He's sick in the head, that guy. But yeah. Shortly after that, goes to Cleveland. Jersey's worthless, and every jersey I bought ever since, that guy's either gotten traded or he broke his ankle, never played again. It was like, you know what? I'm just gonna not do it anymore.
Right.
Save the $200.
There you go.
And that's how I started collecting Hot Toys, folks.
And not only do I buy Hot Toys on eBay, but I'll buy my jerseys on eBay too, and they are a fraction of the price. And then I don't feel so bad either. Like if I usually don't pay more than like $50 for a jersey, so eBay is a good place to look too, even if it's knockoff. Like I don't really care. So yeah, good question. Thank you for that. We got X-Man here in the house. Hey y'all. Neilerific is here as well. Greetings, Earthlings and fellow collectors. I saw the comic book Iron Man and went, ho no. Better or worse than my Hot Toys Limited Classic Iron Man? Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes, so stay tuned. Tighter FL, what's up, everyone? A quiet week and a half. Dude, I thought for sure we were getting a drop last night. I'm like, it's got to happen. We're due. And then, because this Iron Man that we're going to talk about is already about a week old, because that's when Brick ironically called it that we'd get another Iron Man, and it was Thursday morning. And so this is like the newest thing we have, and that's already a week old. So yeah, it's been dry to say the least, but don't let that stop you from enjoying the show, because we still have a lot of good stuff to talk about. Brad Cormack is here, another channel member. Evening Wolfpack, too sweet. Let's see. Batman Collectibles, evening. We're going to talk about that Jazz Inc. 89. I do have something maybe pulled up for that. We can talk about that a little bit, because I kind of want to get D-Lo's opinion about that, because he just got the Hot Toys one. So, and speaking of that, Sneaker, we haven't brought up EvilSneaker. He's not on the show tonight, obviously. Actually came down with a late sickness, so we hope he gets better quick. Some sickness going through his household, so hope he's dealing with that and getting better soon. So we will miss him tonight, but the show must go on. Derek is here too. Good evening, Wolfpack. Hope everyone is well. We got Thrawn's Office, another loyal channel member. Nothing better than Hump Day packing, baby. Woo! Collection Obsession, yet another channel member. Love that you guys come to each and every show. Thank you so much. Too sweet, and let's go. We got Deadpool 1998. Howdy. Let's see. Ooh, he's a hockey guy. Okay. Ooh, Neilerific. Go Bills. I enjoy watching the Bills. I do enjoy it. So we'll
I love
see.
Josh Allen.
Yep, same here.
I do.
We got Jazzy in the house too. What's going on, my friend? MMA, playing catch. Let's see. I'm reading some of your stuff. Action in the box says the best part of the season is that Green Bay Packers will be here in Brazil. Yeah, he's stoked. Browns, thumbs down. Who Dey Bengals.
Oh, Bengals suck. I remember Baker when he was a Brown. He whooped the Bengals' ass like every time.
You like Burrow and you like Chase, so
I do, but shh.
Hey, I drafted Chase. I
don't need to admit that right now.
He showed up to practice. You heard about that? He showed up to practice. I'm about to steal. I got him with a knife pick in the first round. I'm very stoked. I think I stole one.
Wow.
Batman Collectibles says, "Go Titans." I'm going to give you some input here. I think Will Levis is going to be the QB sleeper of the year. So, just saying, pick him up where you can. I wouldn't start him as your QB1, but I'm just saying, sleeper right there.
I don't trust him in to put mayonnaise in his coffee.
I'm a big fan.
Is he really? That's freaking nasty.
That's his thing. He puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
He just came out with his own fragrance too.
I heard about the fragrance. Yeah.
Wait, he does have a fragrance as well
it's
too?
mayo. Yeah. It's mayo.
It's that is a weird thing, man.
He found his
smell like mayo,
his
on
niche,
purpose.
You know? Yeah, whatever you got to do, man. We got one Adam 12, another channel member. Hey, Wolfpack, my favorite Wednesday show. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Josh Jacobs, Bama boy.
Yes.
Yeah. Brad's a Lions fan. They've had a good last couple of years, so I mean, good for the Lions fans, I guess.
Grind.
Yeah. Thrawn says, I tried fantasy football last year, but it turned out it works best if you give a rat's ass about football.
Yes.
Give it the old college try. We got Big Rib here. What's up, fellas? What's going on? We got Roe, Go Bears, and Lions. Interesting. Bears might have a good season too. We'll see. Lots of just stuff I'm looking forward to seeing, and it's, of course, the Packers are number one, but there's so many games I'm looking forward to. So many players I'm excited to see what happens. It's like the male soap opera. I'll take Brett Favre seriously when he gets a last name that makes phonetic sense.
Favre.
Patriots. This is interesting too. Patriots or Bills for me. So Steve Sneaker is the big Patriots fan, and he loathes the AFC East. So he would not take too kindly to that. But go Bills. Wayne Timothy, good evening, Wolfpack and fellow collectors. What's going on, my friend? 1-6 Delight. Hey, Hammer of God. Good evening to you. Big Dog Pound. What is going on? Thank you for being here. Ro got his tickets for Beetlejuice, so he's going. It's going to be fun. You know, it's try to go in knowing like the first is the first, and this is, you know, it's probably not going to live up to that hype. I mean, it's a classic. We've been watching that over and over again for how many years? So tough to beat. Just look at it, yeah, as its own entity. Thrawn's office giving Big Dog Pound a woo. We got Striker 47 here. To hear that noise is the sound of collectors pressing the cancel button on the Sideshow Beetlejuice figure now that Hot Toys is making it. We're going to talk about that too, because one of us may have done that. So we'll talk about that. I thought Brick was going to say he sells something before every season. I got to give my what do they call that? Where you
oh my gosh, when they do it for
like almost like an offering or your pledge, give it like your pledge.
Oh, okay.
To the NFL
give it to, like,
season.
They do it for like King Kong and stuff like that.
Right.
The sacrifice.
Yeah, sacrifice.
Right.
Sacrifice something.
Is there a local pizza place you usually go to that is only found at home? No, I mean No, we go to Marcos or Little Caesars.
Come on now, Graham. Come on.
Terrible, just terrible.
Tommaso's, man.
We don't do that for football.
Oh, not for football. He doesn't say for football. He just says.
Oh, I figured when we were talking about the pizza, he was talking about football.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, Tommaso's once in a while.
And then there's Ian's Pizza in Wisconsin. So Ian's is pretty good. Milwaukee.
How about you, DLO? Any special
Gosh.
place you go to?
This reminds me how much I miss New York pizza. Just talking about that. Florida pizza is not much better than Wisconsin pizza, but I will say we do have a few spots that are pretty darn good. My go-to is actually ironically called New York pizza.
Hey,
in Florida.
There you
go.
All right, there you go. Dave's Man Cave's here, just tuning in. What's up? Hey, we're just getting going. We got EvilSneaker, another channel member and member of the Wolfpack. Have a great show, guys. Too sweet. Hope you're feeling better, dude. Don't listen to one Adam 12's comment about liking the Bills and the Patriots. It's going to be okay. And we hope you feel better. Fat Gadget is in the house. Still waiting for the New York Jets to match their 1969 Super Bowl win. A man can dream. I watch Greeny a lot, and he's one of my favorite guys to listen to. And just hearing his pain and, you know, his lifelong dream was to go to a Jets Super Bowl with his dad, and his dad has since passed. And yeah, just being a fan, like a hardcore fan of your team, and they're always kind of letting you down. That would be tough. That takes some grit and some loyalty. But I know DLO, there's no love lost there.
Nope. Sorry, Greeny. Yeah, sorry about your dead
And Fat
dad.
Gadget.
He said, Greeny is a terrible New Yorker. He roots for both the wrong teams. He roots for the Mets and Jets. So you're supposed to be
I could never
jealous
see
of
myself rooting for the Mets if I lived there.
Well, that's the thing. My father-in-law is just like Greeny here. I mean, he works with Greeny, so it's just like it's always fun when he comes over to the house and like the Mets are terrible. I'm like, hey, how about the Mets? Yankees better. Hey, about the Jets? Oh, the Giants are still better. So it's just like, yeah.
The one thing I will say about the baseball, I could see myself rooting for the Mets because they're more of the underdog, where there's no salary cap in baseball, so you can just buy your own
doesn't get much
team.
under than the Mets.
So that would piss me off. Like, I'm not a big baseball fan, but like the Brewers are a small market, so their payroll's always a lot smaller. So it's really hard for us to compete. So it's just like kind of pisses you off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the only time like I actually cared about the Brewers is when you guys had like Cecil Fielder Jr.
Prince Fielder.
There. Was it Prince Fielder? No,
Prince Fielder, and then who's
Prince
the
Fielder,
pitcher?
yes, that's-
Who
right.
did Ryan Braun? Shit, I can't remember his name.
Didn't he
I can
get
picture
popped
him.
for? He was an MVP, wasn't he, Ryan Braun? And then he got pinched for steroids, I think. Yeah. See, not much legacy there.
I don't know. Let's see. Music and collectibles. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Go Hawks, even though Pete Carroll is out. Hey, I'm a Ken Walker fan and JSN. You guys are going to need a QB next year, though. But that's okay. Stacy is in the house. Good evening, Wolfpack. Happy Wednesday. Go Hawks. All right. Couple Hawks fans. We got Frank Flores in the house. What's up? Hashtag thank Frank. Excited for Jazz Inc. 89. And Adric 23, channel member for 12 months. Are we talking about Jazz Inc. 89 Batmobile? Man, that seems to be a hot topic. So, yeah, we are going to talk about that tonight. So don't you guys worry. Don't you fret. You It's all coming up in the show. Zach Davenport, Orlando, Florida location of McDonald's has pizza.
Oh,
Really?
I did
Interesting.
not know that. All right. Zach's here. I'm a Lions, Steelers, and Saints fan. Neilerific says go Jays. All right. Judge and Soto on the Yankees unstoppable.
Damn right.
All right. We are caught up. 65 in the house to start the show. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel as well as my friends' channels too. Good dudes. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this show each and every week for you guys. So, we were going to start with... Oh, Kyle's in the house. He says, go Cowboys. It's your year this year.
Got a lot of nerve making that comment.
I like how Siri says sorry. That's great.
Sorry. She's been buggy lately, by the way, like really getting picked up on my watch and everything, and it's nuts. Who likes Marvin Harrison Jr.? I do.
Oh,
I
heck
think
yeah,
he's gonna be a
dude.
beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who doesn't? Yeah, again. I'm looking forward to seeing Malik Neighbors. Gonna be tough with Daniel Jones, but I think he'll still get his. So it's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
I like Neighbors a lot.
Yeah. So guys, I want you two to pick. We were going to start with the Iron Man, but we've had some chatter in the chat about Jazz Inc. 89. You want to start with one or the other?
Sure, let's talk about it. Let's get the
Which one?
Batmobile going.
Okay, Batmobile. Here we go. Now, I'm going to use Justin's Collections video. So this is his video. Obviously, you guys probably know who he is. He did great work filming this thing. We're just going to use it as a source material. And thoughts. Did you guys watch the video? Have you guys seen the gorgeous piece of art that Jazz Inc. has created? Oh, Brick left. D-Lo, I want to start with you. What being that you just got your Batmobile, does this make you feel? You knew it was coming, but does it make you feel a certain way seeing this? Do you care?
Yeah, I mean, depends on what you think. Ask me about what I care about, right? So, for me, it's just like my gut check reaction is like, "Wow, this is really nice," and I can even admit that it's probably nicer than the Batmobile I have, right? But then I say to myself, "Wow, I have so much money left over," so that's okay too. So, yeah, I knew this was eventually going to come here because I don't live underneath a rock. I knew Jazz Inc. was making one at the same time I was considering getting my 89 Batmobile from Hot Toys, and I think for cost wise to me, I think I'm very satisfied with what I got from my Hot Toys offering. I finally got a chance to put it in my case. It looks fantastic. Having said that, I cannot argue with how incredible this really genuinely came out. This is really a standout. I think for me, the first thing that instantly that catches my attention is the paint job itself specifically. I love the pop of shine that comes out of the colors out there, and it gives it that wet effect that you almost feel like the Batmobile always had. No matter what, when you're watching it, it always had that glossiness to it, so it looks rich and clean. And also, I love the paint details as well too, like on the turbines and on the headlights. I mean, it looks really, really well done. I won't speak to some of the complaints I'm hearing about, like QC issues and all that stuff. I mean, it comes with the territory. Unfortunately, it sucks, but it kind of comes with it there. But from a technical standpoint, from an execution standpoint, this thing is insane. And then the features that it comes with too, the LEDs, the remote control is what really popped me. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's
that was
the
pretty
same
cool.
remote. I was like, that is cool. That's a nice touch there. But yeah, I can go on and on about it there. But super impressive. Congratulations to everybody that picked it up there, and congratulations to everybody got the Hot Toys one. I think both collectors got a win here, but yeah, I can't argue. This is a stunning masterpiece, dare I say. Probably the best thing I've seen them ever produce, in my opinion. So yeah, good for those guys who picked it up.
Yeah. How about you, Brick?
I mean, I know that the Catwoman's help me, the taser was from Batman Returns. But it would have been cool if that remote control was more like a taser. I don't know. That's just me. But no, I think this looks really, really cool. I kind of put this in the Hot Toys version in two different categories. That's kind of the way I look at it with these vehicles when they're about double the price, really, and shipping and everything like that. This looks amazing, though. I haven't watched this video, but from some pictures that I saw on Instagram from this video and what I'm seeing right now, it looks really good. And DLO's right, man. That shine is just popping. It looks a little bit more sleek, a little bit more like slimmed down. I'm sure it's a lot more accurate with size and everything. But yeah, I mean, Hot Toys. If I was going to get one, it would definitely be the Hot Toys one, just because it's more affordable and that's just my. I mean, not just saying Hot Toys, but that's just my like. If I'm collecting all these a million figures, not a million, but you guys know what I mean. Like, I need to have that extra money to pay off these pre-orders, all these figures that we're getting, and it's getting pretty ridiculous. Collector Joey came out with a picture showing all the announcements that we've gotten just for this year, and it's just really it's crazy. So for this money, if I could, I would definitely get it. As of me right now, though, if I were to get one, it would be Hot Toys. But yeah, it looks very, very good. I love the lights in the front too. I think they pop out a little bit better than Hot Toys, but it's tough because you want it, right? You want these things, but as I've said in the past, I think the only Jazz Inc. vehicle that I would ever get is the Jurassic Park Jeep. And when he finally comes out with that, I'm screwed because now I have to get it because I've been saying that.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Well.
Well, guess what, Brick?
Bookmark this episode.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Like, obviously, like, you look at Hot Toys and you're like, wow, it's so accurate and everything. And then you look at Jazz Inc., you're like, wow, it's like really, really accurate. Like, it's a lot of differences, actually. Like, obviously, it's going to be longer. But even the bronze rims of the wheels, I kind of like that. But you also have, like, you have the print on the side, too, which is a really nice touch. A little bit different paint applications here, just minor things. That really look cool too. But yeah, the paint application, the lights in the front are one solid light. You don't see the bulbs in there. But again, you're paying 3 times the price, so you got to take that into consideration too. Like, there's just still that line I can't cross of paying that much money for a collectible figure, and that doesn't make it right or wrong. It just is where I stand with my budget and priorities and what's going on in my life. Would that be different if I didn't already have the Hot Toys one? Possibly, maybe. But like Brick said, too, like I also justify it in two of like, how many figures could I get for that price? Like, is it really that important to me? And for some of you, it is. And I can't blame you because it is completely gorgeous and a work of art. And you got the
there's
DX9.
levels of attention to detail on this here that you're not going to get with the Hot Toys. And not because it's not possible to do, but it's not cost effective for the company who's making it, right?
Right.
Jazz Inc., you know, in a sense, this is, in my, and again, solely my opinion, but I think their products are maybe a little too high for what you're getting. But at the same time, I can understand and rationalize what they're thinking about doing it because they're a smaller company. And on top of that, they're you know, to their credit, they're doing a lot of research. They're doing, there's a lot of attention to detail, things that you don't necessarily need to have. But they do it for you as well too, and they're giving you the ultimate, you know, model of what you're paying for, right? So it's just going to be compared to what you and other people think is value. The way I look at it myself here is like, if the Hot Toys Batmobile didn't exist, I'm asking myself, would I pay this for this figure, for this particular vehicle? And that's I can honestly say, that's a hard question for me to honestly ask because as much as of a diehard fan I am, I do look at that cost and say to myself, like, where do I draw the line with my collecting? And, you know, if I was more of a focused collector, a better collector, as I should be, and not collecting it into multiple things, I'd probably have the resources to kind of swing that more. But since I dabble in a lot more than I probably should at times, you know, it causes me to pause and say, well, if I'm taking the money from this here, then I'm going to lose it somewhere else. And I just ask myself, do I want, it's not a matter of quality, but it's more, I guess it's more of a quantity thing. And I think financially what I'm thinking about, do I want to spend that money, like you said, on this, or do I want to spend it on other things to fill out my collection other ways? So Yeah, if you're a Focus collector and this is your bag, you got yourself a sick ass Batmobile. Truly,
And I'm jealous. I'm jealous of
and I'm
anybody
happy
that's
for you.
gotten
I'm
this.
jealous for you, and I'm also happy for you as well too. But for me, just like I still think I probably would have. I take the extra figures and fill out my collection more, just because that's the way I think about it there. But hell, that is going to be a standout piece, one of a kind, until he decides to make the 92, of course. But no, he won't. I think there's pieces from the 92 already included in this too, right?
Yeah, you got the turn.
Yeah, you got that blade that
and the
pops out.
blades. Yeah, so it's
So this
same.
he probably won't make this, or if he does, it'll be something different there. But yeah, beautiful piece, phenomenal piece here. Truly envious of how good it is. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't spend that kind of money personally.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier when you have that Hot Toys version to be able to say no.
Yeah, listen, I will wipe my tears as I look at my beautiful, brand new, practically 89 Batmobile that I paid a fraction of it for. You know, it is what it is. I think they're both fantastic. I don't think you can get wrong with either one, but yeah, this is clearly the superior one, no doubt about it.
I was thinking of repainting mine.
Repainting it? Why so?
Well, it's got some scuffs on it. My
Can't
dad's a
buff that
body
bad boy
guy.
out? Little turtle wax?
I've tried, I think, but I could maybe try that again. But my dad's a body guy, and I'm like, just tape this off for me, and then maybe even do the rims, a little bit of a bronze, and then
There you go. That's a
See.
fun little weekend project.
yeah, and then it doesn't turn out, and you're like fucked. But oh well.
Well, listen, I mean, Denobi, to his credit, he did an incredible video modifying his, and the ingenuity he put into his, outstanding work. I mean, if you have the know-how and the guts to do it, you can definitely soup up your Batmobile.
Yeah. I think the one thing that bothers me the most is just the size difference. I wish mine was more of an accurate size. You wouldn't know if nobody told you, but now I do know. So like, it bothers me. I just wish it was a little bit more accurate with the scale.
Yeah.
Because when you tell me it's 1/6 scale, I want it to be 1/6 scale, like true. But I'm just not sure why Hot Toys did that. Maybe just so it would fit in more display. I don't know, because it's already a big piece. So I'm just not sure why that happened. That's what it is. 1/6 Star Wars Pimpazoid. Jazz Inc. has a bunch of die casts, also making it feel way more premium than the Hot Toys version. No, it looks beautiful. It looks like the real deal. It looks awesome. OP collecting habits. I got signature plate 001, and it's going to be here in a week.
Congrats.
That's pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Blessed. Yeah. We got Gambit here as well. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you. We have to remember that when Jazz Inc. announced the 89, the Hot Toys was reselling for $2,000. That's true. Also, many people that bought the Hot Toys paid Jazz Inc. money. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah. I mean, people wanted that Batmobile. I was one of them, and I paid more than I'd like to share, and mine was loose, and I thought I got a deal at the time on it. So that's a great point. How many Maju cases is this Batmobile worth?
Gosh, you think of it that way.
Gosh,
I'd rather have the Maju cases, though. I need a place to display my stuff, Yep.
No, but it's a good perspective there.
Yeah. I mean, true. Especially because, to be fair, too, Jazz Inc. does have payment plans, so you can pay this off, in a year or whatever time being. So that's really nice that Yoast does that. And we're not throwing shade at all. By the way, we think this is an amazing piece. It's just not something that I can. It's
hard to separate Jazz Inc. and the cost at the same time without having it in the same conversation, unfortunately, because it's always going to be that way.
Yeah. I want to get up to Jazzy's comment. He says I'd cop if they cut the gimmicky smoke and sound effect for $300 less. What do you guys think of the smoke and the sound effects? We saw it on Steve's 2022 Batmobile, so we kind of at least have an idea. Plus, obviously Justin's video. I, for one, don't need either. Is it cool? Yes. Is it a nice feature that hasn't been done before? Yeah. Does it make the vehicle come alive? A little bit more, but at the same time, it almost makes it a little bit more toyish for me. With
Dude,
the
I'm
sound
100%
coming out of a
with you.
speaker. Like, I don't know. I don't need it. So like, I would be I mean, that would make it a little bit more reasonable too, 300 less, and I don't need that stuff. But I also understand a lot of people do like that, and it makes the vehicle different. So where are you guys at on that?
I'm 100% with you. I do feel like when you have these sounds, and it kind of reminds me of like when I was a kid and you had these vehicles, or even my kids now that have these vehicles that make sounds. Now, obviously the sounds that it makes is way better than that. So I'm not comparing like the way it sounds, but it brings that feeling. And I will say though that when Sneaker turned his on, it was a lot louder than I thought it would be. So it was pretty cool. But like the smoke stuff, like I don't need all that. And would I be mad if I bought a vehicle that had the sound? No, but I would rather buy a vehicle without all that. And I agree with Jazzy so that I could save a few $100s. So that's something I don't really need for a display piece. I'm not playing with the toy. You know what I mean? I'm not having sound going around my my room. But to each their own. But that's just me personally.
See, for me, I'm the other way around about it. I'm like, if I'm already this deep in the game with this particular vehicle, I'm just gonna go all in at that point. You know,
you want all the bells and whistles.
Might as well. Like, if I'm gonna pay this kind of money, like, what's another $300 on an already overpriced vehicle? I'm already made peace of it. I'm just gonna go all in and get the ultimate version of it there, and just suck it up. Me personally,
Sure.
like, I can see your points of view as well too, like, because it makes it more attainable, right? That's the goal. I want it to be closer to where I'm comfortable paying. But for me, like, if I gotta pay an extra $300 and it makes the noises, and maybe I'll use it once in a blue, I don't care. I just want to know I have that feature just to be like, hey, well, I've got the complete vehicle, you know? Because what's an extra $300 when you're already paying almost $2,000 at
True.
that stage? You know,
Yeah.
That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well, we got Collector Joey joining us tonight. Here comes trouble. What's going on, my friend? Too sweet to you. Boink. Yeah,
Boink.
it says
Do
Gamma
you like
says
my
the payment.
jersey, Joey? I forgot to ask you when I came in.
Ooh, yeah, Joey, is this your year? Is this your year?
It's always
Let us
his
know in the
year.
comments.
It's
Speaking
always
of
his
that,
year.
before we move on, I'm going to end this poll. So I asked if you'll be watching football this weekend. 67 votes, 55% said yes. So, hey, proven DLO wrong. We do have a bunch of football nerds in our chat. Come on now.
Not a big margin. Not a big margin. Wasn't a landslide.
Let's see. Sneaker's still with us, so he's still breathing. He says, having the 22 Batmobile and seeing the quality makes me want this after seeing the pictures. Gimmicks aside, still incredible just from accuracy and how it looks. If you pull the trigger, sell me your new one, and I'll give you my old one, and then you can sell that. And I don't even need the box. We'll work out a gentleman's agreement. Let's do it.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. What do you say, Sneaker?
What do you say? What do you say? You got 5 minutes to decide. We got Hawk Wars Toys joining us tonight. What's going on, Ray? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're excited for the NFL season. If you guys haven't already, go check him out on eBay. Great dude, great seller. Has a lot of cool figures that you get your hands on. So, he says he's doing a fantasy football draft now. So that's really cool. I'm kind of like, fantasy football drafts remind me of buying Hot Toys. It's like the natural high you get. Like, you do a draft and you're like, oh man, I just want to do another draft. And it's like, I bought a figure. I just want to buy another figure. And then you have your team, you have your fantasy team, and you're like, it's great and all, but I just want to do a draft again. Kind of like when your figure comes, it's like, it's great. I want to buy another figure. Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Yeah, I slacked on this one.
Mm-hmm. I reminded him.
I told
they were
we still
afraid
have
to
time.
lose again by me.
We still have time.
Let's go, the
We
champ.
still have till tomorrow, but yeah, time's running out. Commanders fan hurts for sure. Being a Commanders fan hurts to watch. Well, you got something you didn't have before though. You got Jaden Daniels, so enjoy that man. I think he's going to be providing a lot of excitement for you, hopefully for years to come. I'm still hunting for the DeLorean from Back to the Future 2. Another great vehicle, one that I was happy to get my hands on. I miss my Redskins name. All my gear has Redskins on it. I'm with you. I miss the name. I miss the logo. Such an iconic logo. Great uniforms. Bring it back. Won't happen, but it should.
Could be worse. Could be the Cleveland Guardians.
Right?
Terrible. Terrible.
Stopping by to say hello. Jedi, thanks for all the content. Thank you. Appreciate you coming in and watching. Let's see. Just got my black suit Spidey delivered yesterday. Congrats.
Nice.
Congrats. Joey hasn't answered the question yet, so we'll continue to wait for that. But yeah, no, this is beautiful. I don't know what else to say. Super sad that it's not mine, but yeah, look at that paint job, the lights.
It's nice.
I wonder if it sits a little lower to the ground too. It almost looks like it's just a hair closer to the ground. I don't know. Could be wrong. The light up features, yeah, definitely a lot better. But it's beautiful. But so is the Hot Toys one, so I don't think you can go wrong with either. Any final thoughts on this? Anybody jumping on the wait list?
Not this guy.
Yeah, neither's this one. I'm happy with my,
Me neither.
my practically brand new one. I mean, gosh, we did the unboxing. What was it? Last week or the week
2 weeks
before?
ago?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Congrats to anybody who got.
Yeah.
All right. Very well. Very well. So yeah, congrats. Hopefully, hopefully more videos come out. I was a little surprised Justin didn't compare with the Hot Toys one, but I would have been excited to see that. But great video by Justin's Collection, so go check him out too, and check out the whole video with all of the features and the voiceover and stuff. He did a great job with that video. Next is a HONO Iron Man that I feel like we've seen before from Hot Toys. So I was a little taken aback when I saw this was our announcement for last week. And it's not die cast. It's what do they say? Silicone arms and knees, arc reactor, repulse palms with magnetic activated LED light up feature, together with a comic covered backdrop. The 1/6 scale figure also comes with swappable face mask and detachable countermeasure dispensers, capturing the finest details of Iron Man's classic look at different eras. Okay, anybody remember what the Hot Toys one? What was that priced at? And that was die cast.
Oof.
I mean, that was
I don't remember the price.
over 3. Let me see here.
So, I guess what I'm getting at right off the bat, this is going to be $215. Estimated ship is January to June, so pretty soon. Which I think the HONO figures are usually like a little quicker. These are supposed to be Hot Toys like budget company, basically, where they're doing like these Marvel comic
400,
figures,
I think. If that's the
400?
right one. Yeah.
410,
So-
yeah.
410. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, still quite a bit cheaper. You're not getting die cast or anything like that. So it's still a budget figure. But
Is that the same one? Is it classic Iron Man, DLO? The limited?
Yeah, it
1500?
is.
Okay, okay.
Very similar. It's the one with the weird choice with the clear plastic for the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I didn't like that.
And that's for the deluxe I should make. The standard's $375.
Okay.
D'Lo, I want to start with you on this. Like, just thoughts. Is there a place for this? Like, is it a good budget figure to have? Should we be spent like? I don't know.
Let's rip the band out. I
quite
know where you're going
understand
with this
it,
here. I understand your concerns here. I mean,
Confuzzles.
your concerns are kind of my concerns, quite honestly. Here, I am perplexed. That is the word I will use. I'm perplexed by this release over here, this announcement, I should say. There's some goods, there's some bad to it there, but I think the end of it there, I think it's the price that's the one thing that, because there's some innovations to this here, right? Let's talk about that. Silicone is an interesting touch when it comes to the use of that there. As far as the LED, the magnetic activated LEDs, that's interesting because we've been talking about USB for Hot Toys Iron Mans for the longest time. Now we're going to get something like this. So there's some pros to this here, but where you instantly lose me is at the price. And I know we always tend to talk price here, but hear me out on this one over here. I'm thoroughly confused with HONO in general. Okay, it's supposed to be a budget-friendly version of Hot Toys, which the first thing you're going to say to yourself, or at least say probably in the chat right now, is, well, DLO, this is a budget-friendly one because a normal Iron Man's typically $400. And you would be right to say that, and that's fair. But the question is, where do we draw the line? What is budget-friendly and what is not? And I think this one is really straddling the line of like, okay, I think we might be pushing the boundaries of what Hot Toys thinks a budget-friendly figure is to collectors, right? Because you start off very strong with your HONO Wolverine announcement. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was 160, if anybody can correct me here.
I think
right?
so.
160. Okay. Then we had the Spider-Man symbiote suit and Magneto. And I believe those are both 175. So about $15 more than the Wolverine.
See
okay.
a pattern here?
Slowly creeping up. And then now we're at $215 for an Iron Man. Now I understand Iron Man is Hot Toys bread and butter. That always tends to be the most expensive thing that they make. They also do very well with it. So obviously they have some wiggle room because people will still buy this, despite the rant that I'll probably go on right now. But at the same time, I did some digging because this was the first time I really said to myself, man, the math ain't mathing, folks. $215 for a HONO release. Where's the deal? Where's the deal? Because I don't think $215 is a deal for an Iron Man. I just don't. So I did a little bit of research here. All right. First time I think I've ever in Wolfpack history, I've actually done homework before a show. So here's the scary thing over here. So I decided to look at the lowest priced Hot Toys figure that was announced this year, not last year, this year, just to put it in an even comparison over here. And I looked at which Hot Toys came out this year for announcement and what the price was for it. And this is scary. This is scary because we had a conversation about this last week when we were talking about Chewbacca, talking about the prices of all stuff, and just like, where's the value anymore? Because everything seems to be 300 plus here. So do you guys remember back in May when we were getting all excited about all the Star Wars releases here? The BT1, excuse me. That's the R2D2 evil version. You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you remember what that price was for that figure announcement?
Oof. I'm gonna say 285.
285. Graham, what do you think it was?
That's my guess.
Without looking, what do you think it was?
265.
265. So that figure is 220. That is the least expensive Hot Toys 1/6 figure announced this year. So now we have HONO 215, and our least expensive Hot Toy is 220 as of this year. So there's a $5
It was the evil C3PO that was 285. I got that mixed up. Okay.
That's true. Yes, that was the exclusive one there. Yes, but the R2D2 evil one here, the BT1, that was 220. So now we are only a $5 difference between the most expensive HONO figure and the least expensive Hot Toy figure. To put that into perspective here. So for me, quite honestly, my opinion on HONO right now, I'm out of HONO before I even start HONO. Like I don't care about it anymore. I think at this point, it's clear to me that they are seriously trying to cover every potential price range possible to corner the market everywhere. And I'm saying third parties. I'm thinking about other places like Figure Arts, or anything else you can think of in that bracket. 3-0 comes to mind. Sorry, I think they're looking for tiers for their collectors now. I think they're looking for HONO to be their quote unquote entry, which kind of covers a lot of that I just mentioned. They've got your standard Hot Toys, right? The ones that we were talking about last week, that's in the average of 300. And then you got your Artisan, Deluxes, your DXs out there. So I feel like we've gotten to the point where, like, I think I got an idea what Hot Toys is doing. They thought they're slick, but they're not. They got a price for a lower tier that they're gradually bringing up. Then you got your DX artisans in the high end competing with the in-art stuff, and that's creeping up here. All the while no one's paying attention, in the middle, their sweet spot, the one that we all live in here, that has creeped up. And like kind of adding to what I was saying last week, where like I haven't seen an announcement under $300 that's something that's brand spanking new. That's not a repaint of something or something along those lines. So like Hot Toys is sneakily kind of moving the market higher while also making sure they don't lose any money to all the other stuff that they got cooking over there. So they're sneaky, but I'm catching on to them, man. But I can tell you right now, this HONO price, $215 for Iron Man, like that has to be the absolute limit now, because now you kind of showed your card and say, this is our Iron Man, this is what the price is. Anything that's announced after this needs to be below $215.
Are there any die-cast pieces to this?
No.
Silicone.
Not
That's
at all.
crazy.
No, it's not a cheaply made figure, to be fair.
Sure.
Right?
But
There's some innovation, some really nice stuff here, but you just showed us a HONO's Iron Man. You cannot offer anything else, any other characters less than that. I mean, Thor, for example. Thor still hasn't been priced out yet. Like, if Thor comes in at $200, like, walk away. Don't even pay attention to that thing. That's, I don't know. So that's kind of what I'm researching. I'm seeing these things here, and it just feels like Hot Toys is being slick because these prices are not budget friendly, and it didn't get budget friendly very quick. I mean, what are we up to here? How many figures is it officially now? 1, 2, we had 1 exclusive. So what? 5 in total?
5.
1 being exclusive. So at the 5 figures, we're already above $200 when we start off at 116 this same year, and people are just getting the Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Neil Orific is onto something too. He says, I get the feeling that the HONO brand is only in place to push the flagship brand up in price. So it's a great point too. And not that these characters are niche, but this HONO line seems niche too. Like we have other characters that Hot Toys make. So like this is the budget brand. So that it just kind of seems niche to me. But then, you know, so you would think you'd need that price to be like a banger of a price, because I'm looking at the poll right now and I can end it and it says 84% of you aren't even picking this up. So like 15% are and 83% are not. So like it just doesn't seem, you know, and you already have a die-cast version from Hot Toys that it's just kind of like
that has a head sculpt. So
doesn't I don't think so.
But this is
it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
This is more comic faithful figures we're getting over here, right? So there's a clear market for this, because not everybody wants the movie version of Tony Stark and Iron Man, right? That may not be their Iron Man they grew up. Maybe this right here is a clear representation of comic Iron Man, and this reaches out to certain folks. Mm-hmm. So if you're kind of using all of your tiers, if you will, to convince people to either go HONO, Hot Toy, or Artisan at this point, right? Because we just said right now, someone's going to say that to completely disagree with my take and say, well, DLO, this is half the price of a Hot Toy. I'm going to get this one. And it reminds me of what I grew up with, so I'm going to pick this one up. And they're going to look at this as a deal. And that's the way. It's going to be all perspective for everybody how they look at it here. But at the end of the day, like what this is doing is, if you support these kinds of things here, what's going to happen is everything else is going to creep up. Right. Everything else. Because 215 200 should never be touched with HONO, in my opinion.
Yeah, right. If it's a budget line, it shouldn't be close to a Hot Toys line. Like it shouldn't butt right up to it. Like,
well,
go ahead.
I think for me, these figures with HONO remind me, and I've said this in the past with other ones, remind me of Mondo to the extreme. And now my thing is, when Mondo decides to do an Iron Man, sure, the joints are more pronounced and everything, but I think the colors are better. I think they come with way more accessories, and it's for around this price. And so for me, it's like, if I'm dealing with HONO or Mondo, I'm sorry, I don't care if it's connected with Hot Toys. I'm going Mondo almost every single time, especially if they're around the same price and all of that. Because you're saying too, like, and I'm not trying to like say you're wrong or anything, but you're saying like the HONOs kind of remind me of the figures that I grew up with as a kid. They're more flat, whatever. to me, Mondo is that too, and it's that
Sure.
same price. It's they look more sturdy, and they come with way more accessories. So yeah, they might not have the LED light, whatever, but I bet you Mondo would come with a head sculpt for 215, 220.
Totally. And that's a good point, good comparison you have there, Brick, because where's the value, right? Because I mean, you said Mondo does great work. Now, in fairness, I agree with everything you said here, but I think collectors probably feel more comfortable buying a Hot Toys brand before they buy a Mondo, because Mondo does great work. I agree with you. Their Batman line, the Masters of the Universe, they do some really outstanding stuff. But yeah, you're gonna come into that brand kind of like loyalty when it comes to this stuff. You're like, well, that looks cool, but I trust Hot Toys because I know how a Hot Toys figure will be, and I know what I'm paying for when I get one of their figures. But 3 zeros out there, you got Mondo out there. You got companies doing great work. Heck, even third parties, Mars Toys. I mean, there's people doing great work out there. Yeah. But people like myself are hesitant to go down that route because I trust what I get from Hot Toys, despite that I don't always agree with what their prices for their stuff.
Yeah. Well, and here you see this. I mean, doesn't really come with much, and I think from people that have gotten the Wolverine figure already have said that the base is super cheap. So is that little backdrop that you can put a comic book in. Correct. It doesn't come with anything. It's clear plastic, and you get 2 hands in the masks. I mean, X-Men had a great point too. Like, for a budget figure, would you really need it to have light up features? Like, it could have just been, I mean, it's nice, it's great, but did it need to have that? I mean, if it kept the price down.
Entry grade LEDs, like, come on.
Yeah. One Adam 12 says, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, Mondo would even have lasers shooting out of its hands. We've seen that with other figures that Mondo does. Like, and here we only get hands.
Yeah.
But sorry.
No, you're good. If this was around 150, I'd pick it up, but not for that current price. Brandon's in the house. He says I like it a lot, and that's awesome. I mean, I will say it looks great, and especially if it's something that you're looking for. It's just, what do we do?
Yeah, it looks good. It just doesn't come with much.
Hot Toys is the king of charging for the bare minimum. That Spider-Man isn't worth $275 either. At least include the head sculpt. Include a bottle of whiskey with it. There you go. Yeah, Jazzy says this ain't better than 3-0.
There you go.
Deluxe diecast Transformer line, in my opinion. If Mondo did an Iron Man, it would probably be around $240 for a timed edition and maybe $210 for standard. OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars, says Bingo Dealo. When you're talking about the comfort of buying with Hot Toys, this Iron Man is a better representation for me and half the price of the usual Iron Man. So to me, this is a deal in my first Iron Man, and that makes sense too. I mean, if you're looking at that aspect, that it's like half the price of the Hot Toys version, I get that too. I do get that mindset. All right, what else, guys? What else?
Now, from a figure standpoint, I don't think I've heard anybody say anything negative about this. I think this looks phenomenal. It's ripped right out of the comic books, right?
I have a question though.
Okay.
Are you worried about the silicone arms and legs?
That's to be determined. That's
typically
tough.
When we have a figure like that, we're saying don't keep it in a pose, long term. Use it for photography, and that's about it. What's the posability going to be like, especially because it is a budget figure. But even a Peacemaker, Bane, that hasn't come out yet. We're kind of very careful. So if this is again more of that budget material or budget figure, anybody have any?
The material, in fairness, is not budget. Like, they're using medical grade silicone. So it's think of Fisons, think of things along those lines there. So I mean, they're going to require treatment over time to kind of keep it from kind of sweating, because that's what silicone will do over time. But as far as like how well this whole, it's hard to say right now because it's so early on before we all get it in our houses and we all live in different climates and see how the materials react right to real world situations over here. But I mean, as far as cracking up, I think this has some longevity to it there as far as on that part of your question. But everybody's going to have a different experience because you gotta treat this stuff in order for it to last longer.
Is there a reason why this is silicone? I mean, tell me I'm stupid if I am.
So it's
but like
seamless, so you don't see joints.
Yeah, but isn't like silicone supposed to like feel like skin and all that stuff? Like, shouldn't this be? I don't know. I just, it doesn't feel right to me.
Well, because the gold parts aren't technically metal, correct?
Well, sure, but even if it's like cloth or whatever it might be, I don't know. I'm sorry, Iron Man fans, but it's not skin. I don't know. It feels weird to me. But I don't know.
I mean, there's a precedence. I mean, I recall a lot of comic books where Iron Man looked like he had muscles, even though it's supposed to be machine.
Sure.
Right. So I guess it depends on the comic run that you're looking at there. But I mean, it's accurate, and I do like the two faceplates. I prefer the horned face mask, quite honestly. I like that one.
I do like the
unique.
eyes coming through.
Yeah. And there's eyes behind that as well too. So it's not like a light up or anything like that. That's so old school. I love that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like, that's pretty neat.
One thing I worry about just looking at it, this reminds me kind of the Batman Forever figures. You got I know this is silicone, those are the rubber suit, but like the paint, the metallic paint looks kind of the same. And then I'm also worried, like, you bend the arm and then you bend it back and it's going to start peeling or basically just peeling on you like right away too. So that's just something I'm a little concerned about, but we'll have to wait and see when this thing comes out. But this looks cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Why does this though remind me of like Cable Guy, Silence of the Lambs bit, where he's got his chicken skin. He's
hello,
like,
Clarice.
It's good to see you again. I don't know why, but it does. It does.
No, it's sweet, but honestly, like I said, I'm just disappointed with the price. I'm just like, whoa, we just were. I can't remember when the Wolverine was announced originally. It doesn't feel like it was too long. It's got to be maybe 2-3 months ago at most, and we're up over $50 from then for an announcement for I don't know. It just something just feels off about this here. I just feel like someone who is pricing these are just not in touch.
It doesn't come with anything.
Well, I just feel like it's not in touch with the collector who's going to want this. Like, it's not for me first and foremost, because I'm more of a movie-based collector. I enjoy it for my movies and television shows. This is more for the comic customer, right? So it just feels
that too.
It just feels like, okay, if you're announcing a whole new brand, a subsidy of Hot Toys, if you will, to give customers and collectors around the world another way to collect your products without having to pay the Hot Toy price. How are we already $5 away from your least expensive Hot Toy?
Well, yeah, and I think when we kept seeing these figures, okay, so this is the budget line. These are going to be under $200. And then, yeah, like you said, 5 figures in, we're already over $200. And it's just kind of like, okay. Well, we'll see how budget these figures, I guess, are going to be, since they're already kind of creeping up. But it's just a huge spike, too, from the last couple figures. Even at $175, that was 15 higher than your first release, and now that's another $45. Am I doing the math right? $40. So just off of one figure, it's kind of a spike. It's a spike. Let's see. CB wants to know, how do we take care of silicone?
Shoot. Gosh, I'm not the expert on this here, but I mean, just kind of listening and kind of reading a little bit about it here. I mean, you're supposed to put some kind of like powder-esque thing on it. I can't really say what it is. Like, I'll do more research and get back to somebody on this question down the road. But yeah, when I start playing messing around stuff like that, I'll answer that question better. But I don't know the answer.
I mean, I'm sure climate has something to do with it still, like climate-controlled rooms, not leaving it in sunlight to dry out.
Yeah, because my experience, my understanding comes from like statues, because medical silicone is, really more for the statue crowd, and this is kind of new for me. So, but I mean, I've been doing some reading up on some of that stuff here. I mean, there's a process just to keep stuff like that from cracking.
I wouldn't keep it in a dynamic pose for long periods of time.
Yeah, that one's a Hot Toys 101 one for sure for everybody. Yeah. And yeah, definitely don't keep it in a long pose for very. Don't keep it in a pose like that for very long.
So is his waist, is that plastic then rubbing up against silicone?
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, man, worries me.
That's correct. That worries me. Kirby says, playing devil's advocate here, but how many Hot Toys do we have that we barely use any of the accessories? True, but
you can switch them out and stuff, you know, like everybody can have. I might use a sword while somebody else uses no sword, or both guns and somebody else uses like the, you know.
There's some I never use, but then there's some that I continually rotate. Like, but you're also knowing like at least there's value in what you're paying for, that you get the option for those accessories. Like here, it's just
different head sculpts, different jackets to use, different. I mean, yeah.
But good question.
Yeah, I think the accessories part over here honestly doesn't play into my thinking of what the value and price is anymore. I mean, those days of Hot Toys giving you a massive amount of accessories, those days are gone.
DX,
so I mean,
baby.
so realistically, you're that's a non-starter here, because in my opinion, I think Hot Toys doesn't give you enough accessories either. So I don't think that's really a necessary point. But I think for as far as what the mission statement is of what HONO's supposed to be compared to Hot Toys, I pose the question to you: with a price of $215, how does this make this any different than any other Hot Toy then, if that's the case? That's my question for you then.
This is a great question too. What's the better value, HONO Iron Man or Sideshow Greedo?
Greedo, without hesitation.
Yeah.
You know why? Because there's only one Greedo.
Ooh, there you go.
100%.
There you go. Look at this character we got here. We got Joao Breda. All Hot Toys should come only with 2 closed hands, no accessories. You're right, though, on one thing. They should come with 2 closed hands, and not all do. Always odd when Hot Toys come with non-matching hands. Don't you guys agree? Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
nice
weird.
to know, like, I have 2 fisted hands.
Somebody want to
2
do it in the
gesture
right
hands.
hand, and yeah.
Right.
Oh man.
We got Denobi 2 in the house, too. He says, easy pass for me. Comic look clashes with what I got going. Can totally understand that too. Like, and yeah, unless you're like a full-on Iron Man collector, maybe you'd want this to represent that. But most of that's going to be kind of live action as well, so totally get that too. But not for me either. Denobi, we just gave you props a little bit earlier as we talked about Jazz Inc. 89 Batmobile. Just about the light work that you did in your video. So DLO kind of gave you a shout out on that too. So props to you, man, on doing a really cool light job in that Batmobile. Deadpool has no fists, and I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. So, safe to say we're all passing on this.
Oh yeah.
I'm passing on HONO altogether. For me, I've kind of like dipped my toes in the idea of it. They had me for a second with brown suit, but they lost me with this Iron Man. They really have. So like it's great for people who are more attached to the comic version of these characters as opposed to movie characters. So there's going to be somebody this is going to be a welcome change from what they're getting from Hot Toys right now. But I just think for the masses, I just don't see. I feel like this is going to be a failed line at some point. I just feel like if we're already at this point here, if we go another $10, $15, $20 in the direction, we get to a $250 HONO before the end of the year, arguably say here, I mean, is anybody going to really give this? I mean, in all seriousness, is anybody going to really give this the time of day? I highly doubt that. I don't see a world where we give HONO a chance if these prices go any higher than what they are right now.
Yeah, I almost don't even want to support this by getting that Spider-Man figure anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted that Spider-Man because I love Spider-Man, and like, I don't know. Like now if I'm supporting by buying this, and it's just one of those things where okay, now they're just gonna keep raising the prices like you're saying, and I don't like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I said, I feel like this HONO line, it had a great opening, and then it completely lost touch with the purpose of its existence. And I feel like it's just meshed into Hot Toys. But now I feel like almost like, in a way, if we go any higher, and I'm not saying for Iron Man, because Iron Man, this is a value compared to other Iron Mans, but I'm saying if we go the other direction, say for example, let's use Thor, who we don't have a price point on here. Comic book Thor, let's say it comes in at $215. You can get a Thor from Love and Thunder for like what, $300, something like that right now. So now we're really talking. We're really like what, no less than maybe $60-$70 difference. Would you rather have a film accurate representation of Thor that has all the same things, probably have silicone arms as well too, I'm sure, like the other one, but would you pick that over the HONO? I don't see many people outside of diehard Thor fans from the comics grabbing that. I think most people would probably say, I'll get the movie version instead. So it just feels like this line really is starting to like not make sense very quickly. And I just feel like, what is your point if you're going to be at the same price eventually as all the stuff you have us collecting as well? That's just my observation of it there.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. X-Man Supreme with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much for the awesome and generous super chat. Let's see, what do we got for you here tonight?
Cheers. Cheers. To Wolfpack, the Collector's Own. To you guys. Cheers.
Thanks for all the support, everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers, X-Man. So he wants to know what would be the fair price for HONO Hulk. I would say $275 to $300.
Shit.
So let's. Professor Hulk is the latest one that came out. That was $375, I believe.
Yes, close to, if not that exactly. Yeah.
So I'm thinking like a Hulk now would probably be $450. So, and then also going off of what they've already released, I would think $275 would be a nice sweet spot. But
dude, I think a fair price for a HONO Hulk is what the price of this Iron Man is, $215.
wow.
I mean,
that's what they should be. That's what they should be though. Like this Iron Man should be like $175, and the Hulk could be $215. It shouldn't be. I don't know.
$250 seems like a real sweet spot.
Yeah, I almost want to give it a little bit more wiggle room just because of the scaling I'm thinking of what a Hulk would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What it would have to be to warrant its existence in the first place too. I don't know. It's an interesting one. It's because now we're getting really specific as far as characters, because that's bigger than a 12-inch figure. That'd probably be what, 14, maybe 16, give or take.
Probably, yeah.
I think if they wanted to wow us, I think 250, 275, like Graham said, I think that would have to be the sweet spot. Not because I think that's where it would land. I think it'd probably be more, if I'm being honest. I think it'd probably be closer to 325. But yeah, that's where it's just like where do we cross? Where do we get off this ship over here? Because this is sinking. Because I don't know. That's probably the best question you can think of, Brick. Because yeah, a figure like that would require more. It would make it more expensive. Now we have an Iron Man base of $215.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if we're comparing with the prices now, then yeah, $250, $275. But a fair price, $215. But if you're basing it off of what they've already been giving us, then yeah, I mean, it's got to be more.
It had to, because
my guess would be $250, $275, but a fair price to me would be $215.
Yeah, because I think $250 for a Hulk, I think comic or movie or not, I think that's a hell of a deal for a Hulk.
It's a big figure.
But I just don't see it now with what the prices of Iron Man for it to be close to $50.
It could be $40 more than this Iron Man.
And then you got to look at it from the outcome, like, let's say, I'm a huge Hulk fan, and let's say it's a $300 figure. Now, no, but I'm saying this hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
Let's say it's $300. Conquest is $350. You might be right. Sadly, you might be right. But again, we'll see if they ever go down. I think they should stay away from it because that would really piss off too many people.
It's just too
too
cloudy, you know.
But if they did it though, if they went all in on this HONO line and decided to give us a comic book Hulk, figuring what we know about Hulks, what they cost for a Hot Toys version, compared to what a affordable version of it there, you kind of shot yourself in the foot with this Iron Man because now you're easily above 200. HONO is now officially above the 200 mark. A Hulk would be easily 300 in my opinion here. Then where do you go from there? Now you say, well, that's $300. Do I want to give up my future? I don't know. Give up my future Ahsoka from the Ahsoka line? Do I give up, an 89 Batman right now and get this instead? I mean, that's where you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot now, because now you're competing with yourself and now you're outpricing yourself with your own products, and you're forcing people to pick and choose between something that you created to drive up more business. So you like, they're completely screwing. That's why, like, at this point, like, okay, the message is clear to me. This is what HONO is going to be. It's no different than Hot Toys is going to be. And honestly, for what they're offering, I'd rather stick to my movie accurate stuff and just continue to buy that if I had to choose between the two.
I agree.
Because you're supposed to come in and give us a reason to buy this product. You instantly took me out after 5 figures. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Brick, you probably just, honestly, your question probably just convinced me not to go down this rabbit hole at all, ever. Just because you're right. I don't think it would be under 215.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there you have it. Interesting topic. So, thank you for the super chat, X-Man, and let's move on to the next thing. Beetlejuice. Anybody? No, not fix black suit. Toby Riley. Come on, enough is enough. No, we're looking up here though at no real news from Hot Toys, but a little tease. We know you want to say it. The Afterlife collection will turn your nightmares into reality shortly. Now, they're saying collection, which you would assume is going to be numerous figures. But the only thing that leaves me hesitant is, A, with Hot Toys, until it's announced, it's not announced. But B, I think they did the same thing for the Prey movie. Didn't they say collection on that? I thought they made it sound like, wait till you see this collection, and we got the Prey figure. So being that it's a miscellaneous line, I don't think they'll do more than Beetlejuice, maybe another figure, but where do you draw the line with that? We're going to talk about that right now. I'm not, like, even if we play the video, it's really just this. It's just the Beetlejuice thing. So with that though, we know Sideshow has their version of Beetlejuice, and that is scheduled to ship September to November. I mean, that's pretty quick. What's Hot Toys' angle here, and are you excited? Do we think people are going to be canceling pre-orders for the Sideshow and just going and waiting for the Hot Toys? Brick, I want to start with you on this one because you kind of got some skin in the game here.
Yeah. So yes. Okay, so where do I begin? I guess I'll begin with, Hot Toys. A lot of people were kind of talking about these Star Wars characters that Sideshow kind of announced. And, Hot Toys might stay away from those figures. They might have gotten the insight that, Hot Toys won't do this. So they kind of went ahead and did their Sideshow figures because they know they won't have to compete with Hot Toys. But here we are with Beetlejuice, right? So this, I think, really does screw Sideshow when it comes to this figure, at least, because now Sideshow, not only are people going to be canceling this figure, and I know for a fact that people will because I did. So I'll just bluntly say it like that. But not only that, but I feel like Sideshow really, really needs to push this figure out like to tomorrow, like in the morning. Released, because it's the more time people have, the more time people are going to decide to cancel it. And for me, I thought, this figure looks really good. I was really excited for it, but that's because it's the only one. And now Hot Toys is going to do it. Sure, it's going to be the second Beetlejuice, I'm sure, but it's still going to be a way better figure. and I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know for a fact. But come on, it's Hot Toys. And the more I look at this figure, the more I'm like, I don't like the tailoring that much. The head sculpt's okay, the hair's not good. But I wanted it because it's Beetlejuice, and it was the only 1/6 scale figure that I could get, and I love Beetlejuice. But now that I know I have an option, that Hot Toys is coming, even if it comes out next year, like I'm excited for that. You know, I was kind of telling the boys before, like it's kind of like when you think something looks good at first, and then the more you look at it, it's like you don't like it anymore. And then it could be the opposite, where you think something looks kind of bad, but the more you look at it, you start liking it a little bit. It's kind of like that girl that you start, a college class with, and you're not really into her, but the more you look at her, it's like, okay, she's kind of cute. That's kind of weird, but
okay.
but it's something like that. Like, it's just the tailoring's just not there, Sideshow, and now you're competing with Hot Toys. And Hot Toys is going to kill it with this figure, I think. And this is something that I predicted Hot Toys to do at the beginning of the year, in January 9th, mind you. And now they're doing it. So I'm looking forward to it. Do I think that they will do a second figure in this line, or more figures in this line? I feel like there's a chance that they will do Jenna Ortega's character. I don't know for sure if they will, but I guess I can somewhat predict that, because I feel, I don't know, I feel like they could also do Wednesday with that figure. And how big of a hit was that? They don't really do shows, especially Netflix shows. I get that, but yeah, I mean, this Tim Burton stuff's kicking off again with Wednesday and Beetlejuice, and Jenna Ortega's big time right now. So I could see a Jenna Ortega in like a black dress or whatever next to Beetlejuice easily. If I had to put money on it, I would say no to that, but I'm not going to say I can't see that happen or anything, but yeah, it's going to look good. And they have so many Michael Keaton head sculpts now. Like, they got the modern suit, Batman. They got the Batman 89. Like, they're gonna. Would you guys assume that they would use the head sculpt from modern suit and then, put paint apps on there, or what do you guys? I mean, a whole new head sculpt.
It'd be a whole new head sculpt, because you're going to show a facial expression.
Oh,
That's a neutral
for sure,
head sculpt.
for sure.
So I think that would be.
But I mean, do you only get one head sculpt? I guess is what I should ask, because if they just do the one crazy head sculpt, then sure. But they do just a normal face.
It's tough to say without seeing the movie, I guess,
Sure.
on what they're going to do. I think kind of what Sideshow's doing too. It's got to be like a goofy, smiling head sculpt, because it's Beetlejuice. But
for sure, if there's only one.
But Luke Christian says, Hot Toys teasing Beetlejuice, let's be honest, chances of it being a Cos Baby line. So I was looking at that, and of course it's Hot Toys, but they don't specify 6 scale. Do you guys think this could be
Yeah.
a Cos Baby line, where they're just saying, well, we never said, like,
It's going to be both.
isn't there some sort of agreement though with like Sideshow, like, hey, you're doing this figure, so we won't, type of thing? Like, there's really not a ton of overlap with that.
That's speculation. That's never been proven over there. In fact,
Right.
I mean, the one thing I can think of that they both did was Grogu. Grogu was something they both
Sure.
did. So, I mean, it's not necessarily like for that to be truly what's going to happen over here. But, I mean, in fairness here, this technically it's not considered the same thing. That one is on part 1 from Sideshow, the other one's from part
Right,
2.
that's
apparently
true.
Here. So,
Yeah.
So, there's a loophole to this over here. Now, the question I have, the major question, because I am a Beetlejuice fan, just like you guys are here. But I will be honest when I tell you this here. I'm not sure if I want a Beetlejuice figure if it's not from part 1. Like, I don't know how I can pick part 2 over part 1. Even if the movie's great, I have an attachment to part 1. So,
But is there really a big difference? What he, the suit, is the suit different?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, from the commercials, I don't think he's wearing that same exact pinstripe suit as the Sideshow figure is, and that's kind of the iconic one I would be more interested in. And then again, you also mentioned the age. I mean, he looks noticeably older. Obviously,
Yeah,
I mean, he's like 70 years old right now at this point, or whatever he is. But he looks different from what Beetlejuice looked like back in the original film. So it's a tough one, because like it's hard to get excited over something that's you don't have any attachment to. It may be the same name, but I just don't know if I'd be jumping for joy for a part 2 Beetlejuice, even without seeing the movie. I'm sure it'll be good, but I don't know if it's going to eclipse my love and passion for the first one. You know what I mean?
I'm with you, and that's kind of why I didn't get the Indiana Jones figure, because it's just not my Indiana Jones.
Great,
like I wanted
point. Yeah, for sure.
I wanted the classic, the iconic look. So I started a new poll here too, because this is really interesting. So I said, which would you rather have? The Sideshow Beetlejuice 1. So Sideshow, not as great as Hot Toys when it comes to quality, but you get the iconic Beetlejuice. Or would you rather have the Hot Toys? You know, we're kind of like what Brooke's saying. You know, Hot Toys is more premium, better quality, but it's Beetlejuice 2. And maybe after seeing the movie, you'll be like, it doesn't, you know, for sure I want the Beetlejuice 2. But it's a really interesting topic because, you know, you have iconic Hot Toys, but then you have iconic Beetlejuice 1. So where do you land on that as we see it right now? I mean, I think if I don't know the answer to that even. I think I'd rather have Hot Toys, but at the same time, as it sits right now, Beetlejuice is so iconic. Depending on how that second figure looks, that is what would sway me. If he's wearing the old man clothes where he's in like the library, you know, I mean, I don't think he will be, but like if it's that Beetlejuice, I'd rather have the iconic. So it's really interesting. But
do you think they could pull what they did with Andrew Garfield, the Spider-Man, and use like that younger version?
Well, they had to license that one, so that's kind of like the loophole how they got him re-released there. But I mean, maybe more in line with Joker 2, like how we had a conversation about that. Maybe that's possible. Like if he's wearing this same outfit in the beginning of part 2, you know, maybe they can do something like that there and just brand the Beetlejuice. That would be more interesting because then that's more in line with like kind of what I was saying before. Like this one is iconic. This is Beetlejuice for over 30 years now at this point. So that would be, I mean, that's an interesting call there. That's interesting. I just feel
I mean, his outfit in Beetlejuice is very much the same.
Yeah, no, and from the trailers, I mean, it looks like that might be it. So again, that might be the way to make that there, and it kind of make some liberties, you know, de-age them a little bit, to make them look like part 1, but not make it part 1. That would be where you have my attention. But I think
kind of like a RoboCop 3.
Yeah, right. You know, it's not Peter Rolling, but
the
it's
box
Rolling.
says that, but yeah,
right, exactly. So I mean, if they were doing something like that, that would put me back in the ball game. But if it comes out to be it's really Beetlejuice from part 2 and it looks exactly like that, and Sideshow is my only choice with Beetlejuice 1, I feel like they cancel each other out, and I think I just don't get either one. That's kind of the way I kind of feel about it.
I'm interested in a Beetlejuice figure, but it's not something I necessarily need. I think the Sideshow looks really good, actually. I think the one thing that somewhat turned me off was the hair. It just kind of looks like somebody took a scissors right around it, and it just kind of
like, okay, stay still.
But I do like it. I think the head sculpt actually looks really good. I see the Michael Keaton likeness. I think the outfit looks good. You get a diorama with this thing, right? You get like the tombstone, or let's take a look. Let's revisit this.
I don't think you get the tombstone.
I think you just get that terrible Sideshow stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was all decoration, if I remember correctly, when we first covered this.
I don't know. His proportions just don't look right. And I mean, I was going to get this figure. I had it pre-ordered. I just, if I feel like there's a better version, I'm not going to waste my money. You know what I mean? Well,
the good news is you're going to get a chance to look at both and make a decision, right? Because it's probably going to be announced shortly after. That's usually how these conversations go, unless it gets lost in the shuffle. You know, they could be holding off on announcing the figure properly until they see how the box office is, because they do that from time to time, where they give you an idea that they're going to announce something from this and then don't do anything at all, and that's usually because it didn't do very good at the movies. Sure. But if it does well, I wouldn't be surprised if you know what the figure looks like maybe right after the weekend is up.
I think this movie's going to do well, by the way.
Oh yeah,
preview looks good.
I don't know, man. I want to say
whether the
I
ratings
showed my son
whether
part
the ratings
1,
are.
he was not into it at all.
See, I just watched with my kids today, 7 and 4, and they loved it.
Nice fucking model.
Yeah, but I don't even care. But like, I don't know if the ratings are going to be good because I can see the ratings being like 5.8, 6.3, whatever. But I think it's going to do well in the box office. People are going to want to see Jenna Ortega and see Beetlejuice again for nostalgic purposes and all that. I mean, that's what was kind of selling Scream for a while, was the last 2 Scream movies because of Jenna Ortega and Wednesday and
she's
and
definitely
whatnot.
named with the young kids. The young folks
Yep.
out there.
Brooke, I was quoting a movie line. I wasn't saying you were a role model. Quoting a line
Oh,
from the movie.
okay. No, because
but
there were some scenes. I'm like, oh gosh, my kids like
my kids love it.
talking about suicide and like you see that, the hanging.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah, my kids are really looking forward to this one, so they keep asking when we're gonna go see it. So yeah, hoping for good things. But again, I'm not looking at it to be as good as the original, but I think that's part of it too, is a lot of us have watched it since we were kids. So some people now, if they watch it now, it might not click. But Michael Keaton, I'm amazed that 89 Batman is playing Beetlejuice and like so goofy, the other end of the spectrum type of thing. So
Oh yeah.
What other conversations do you have about this? I mean, we've kind of talked about it. Could be. I'm assuming it's going to be branded as Beetlejuice, but how will the figure look? We've kind of talked about that. They could do something tricky and kind of make it kind of like fill both franchise or both movies where you could place it as either or. That remains to be seen, but I'm intrigued. I gotta admit though, after looking at the sideshow, I'm kind of intrigued with that. So if that stays within like stock, I'd like to see Hot Toys compared to this and then make a decision there if I get one or the other or just neither. So because this would look cool in the miscellaneous line, in your 80s collection.
Yeah, for sure.
So
This would definitely be a fun standout piece there. And again, really depends if this is what final looks like as well too. That's the key thing here.
I'm always this
you
is a
can get
tough
away with Rito,
figure.
but this is different. You can,
This
you can
one's
give
gonna be
Rito a
tough.
pass, but this is like if it doesn't look like this, which 9 out of 10 times it doesn't, then it's gonna suck. So I don't know. There's no easy answer to this one over here. I mean, clearly if Hot Toys makes one, it's gonna be the better figure. We all know that. Spoiler alert, that's nothing we don't already know. But then you got to compare it to which one is the more popular one, Beetlejuice 1 or Beetlejuice 2. So, I mean, it's going to be an uphill battle to surpass part 1. And if it's a great movie and it's, very familiar and looks similar to what you could have got with this one over here, yeah, then Hot Toys might have an easy win. The collectors might go in on that one there, but only time will tell.
Yeah.
Too many things unknown.
Like
to
the
say for
box
sure.
art could be like a coffin, says Beetlejuice lies here kind of thing, It'd be kind of cool.
That's
That'd be
neat,
cool if the
yeah.
clamshell was like coffin shaped.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Striker says he's just finished watching the advanced screening of Beetlejuice. Definitely a movie to see.
See, that's good to hear.
That's really good.
That's good to hear. All right.
Because I'm kind of expecting it to just be like okay and kind of cheesy, like every time they do sequels that are so far away, like Hocus Pocus 2 was so
rough.
cheesy.
Yeah.
And I can't
Zoolander
think
2,
of
terrible.
any. Zoolander, yeah.
I was watching some behind the scenes too, and I remember them saying like they wanted to keep that charm of the first one and like more practical and just we know what made it do well. We're not gonna remake that movie, but we know what helped it do well, and we want to stick to those kind of principles. So
I heard
I'm
he's only
hoping
got
that they do that.
He's got the same exact screen time as the first one, so like 13 minutes or whatever. And I did not notice that's all he had on that movie.
It wasn't
13
much.
I like
minutes
that.
screen
Wow.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he's got a little bit more, but at the same time, they're not gonna. They said they didn't want to, overdo a good thing, so still gonna be kind of limited, but cool.
That Michael Keaton comeback season. Let's go.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Next up, we need a Jack Frost 2. Come on now.
Is anybody
Now he
gonna
has
get
a kid and he
the
dies.
Batman from The Flash? Anybody still gonna get that one?
I canceled mine, man. There's too much shit coming out. Maybe if that one stays in stock too and it sits, I could see myself picking that one up.
I mean, now that I got an 89 Batmobile, it would be cool to have both the 89 and the Flash one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same Batmobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got to put the
I
Flash sleeping in the Batmobile. You know.
Gosh, the Flash.
I think I canceled Modern Suit when all the artisan shit kept hitting. You know, like Jack Sparrow and all that other stuff. So
Yeah.
Geo says, "Do it, DLO."
Okay, that was easy.
X-Man's getting the Flash Batman. Too epic to pass up.
Twist my arm, Geo. Fine, if you insist.
Done. All right, let's finish off with talking about we're going to go back to Jazz Inc. tonight. Man, it's probably the most we've ever talked about Jazz Inc. But the Catwoman figure, the 1/6 scale Catwoman figure from Batman Returns, got a little look at the head sculpts for our Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. What do you guys think? Because I was talking to somebody on IG today, and they're like, I want to say it was Frank. I think it was Frank. And he said, are you going to get it? And I'm like, I'm still undecided. Like, honestly, kind of might just wait for Hot Toys. And he's like, well, why? And I'm like, well, honestly, it's kind of that warm and fuzzy feeling of I know the quality I'm getting. I've bought from them before. I fear change. So it's just hard, I just know what I'm getting. And he's like, that's true. Definitely if you give Jazz Inc. a try, you think you'll like it. But, it is that weird thing of like the foreign unknown territory that I almost don't even just want to venture in and just hoping that Hot Toys will just make this and keep waiting. What do you guys think about that? Are you in on the Jazz Inc. figure with what you've seen? Are you going to wait it out?
Man, it's looking as of now beautiful. Like perfect, shall I say. Like it's looking so good. The thing that gets me is that there are so many different options to purchase this figure, whether it's like two versions of the clean and the two versions of the battle damage together, or one of each, or it's there's a list up that I kind of forgot, but it was just so many different versions that's very confusing to me, and it gets pricey, right? So I think there was a comment earlier, if somebody gave you $2,000, would you use that for the Batmobile? No, I would use it for the for whatever set of this Catwoman. Like this is looking so good. I want this, and I'm going to get this. Unless during that time Hot Toys makes a banger. So I'm kind of with you, Graham, when it comes to like that comfort, that warmth, something that I'm used to. But if it takes Hot Toys too long to announce, I'll be sticking with this, and this looks damn good.
Because I
don't know if Hot Toys is going to be able to do this when it comes to these head sculpts, at least.
And this will sell out. So if you don't do it, you're probably going to miss out. But it's a risk you take. Dilo, what do you think about the head sculpts? You think they look pretty good? You excited for this?
I think they're outstanding. I think they made excellent picks as far as what expressions they use for Michelle Pfeiffer, because I can see the likeness in every single one of them. Like I remember vividly where I saw that face from. So I think they're wonderful. I think they really are. But kind of like you guys here, I'm kind of paralyzed when it comes to a decision. He's here. I'm paralyzed. I can't feel my legs. I am too so paralyzed.
Dan, you don't have any legs.
But it's the fear of the unknown, right? I don't know much about Jazz Inc. other than
their first figure
production.
too.
Well, no, they're not their first, but their first figure with a head sculpt like this. I mean, the Vulture is technically their first one.
Fair enough.
But I mean, there wasn't much that people said about that body. They said everything else was about it, what's great, which makes sense because it lends into their expertise. But this is, to your point, Graham, this is a totally different product than they've ever did before. And that's honestly where the warm fuzzies come back for Hot Toys, right? Because Hot Toys is a figure company. They make figures for a living. Jazz Inc., to their respect, they are a vehicle company. And to get something like this right, and especially with the expectations that they're giving us for that there, I feel like, and again, I can't say I don't have a magic 8 ball to predict the future, but it feels like it's going to be set up for failure. Not in the sense that it's not going to be an excellent looking product, but it's going to fall short of the expectations that I, as a collector, am going to have for the price of what they're going to ask me for. Because the issue is, the one thing that everybody who follows Jazz Inc. knows is there's always QC issues. And my concern is what happens if I invest in this and I get a figure and it is damaged and I needed to get it repaired.
You're not buying from Sideshow.
I'm not buying it from Sideshow. I'm buying it from Jazz Inc. And what's their policy going to be for that? What's going to be the return policy? How are they going to fix this? What am I going to have to pay extra to ship it back to you and get it replaced? So there's a lot of unknowns for that give me concern to kind of pivot, stop, pause, and think about doing this, right? Because it's like, okay, like, let's say I'm happy day one, but what happens day two if something goes wrong, right? Where do I go? I don't have customer service. I've got a company that's much smaller, and it would probably cost them more, and it would probably cost me more as a customer to get it resolved. And that's where I'm like, that's where I don't feel the best about it there, Now, again, have not bought anything from Jazz Inc. myself, so I cannot speak to how this would be handled. And I don't know the ins and outs that they already have a plan in place for this. But that's where I'm saying I'm paralyzed, because if I make the leap and something like that happens, then I got to deal with whatever it is going to be the process that I have to go through according to Jazz Inc. But I feel comfortable with, if I get a hot toy version of this, if I wait for a hot toy version of this, if something's wrong, I can go through Sideshow, I can go through my authorized retailer and get it resolved. So for me, it's just like, as much as I love this, I'd rather wait and see how everybody else does with this over here. I know I might miss out, but for the price and what the things that are unknown, it's too rich for my blood. Even though I desperately want a Michelle Pfeiffer, I'd rather, at this point, collecting, be a little bit more patient. I've been in the game enough years to say, what's another 2 or 3 years if I'm going to have a comfortable buying, experience with something that I'm familiar with, because this is going to go out of my realm. This is totally out of my realm here. I don't know what to expect. So for that, I just don't know if I'm willing to take the gamble.
Yeah, part of that too, before we get to the super chat, is I know Ekwan said too, I just want to know how much it's going to be cost to be shipped to, and that's the thing too, where you don't know. Yeah. Shipping from overseas is a big thing. Like every once in a while I'll buy from Toys Buying Agent, and it just depends. Like I like to see what the shipping is going to be. Like it was between getting 89 Batman right away or Darth Vader Return of the Jedi. I chose Darth Vader because I think shipping for the 89 Batman came out to be, 1 second here. Hold on. It was $180 to ship.
Gosh.
Whereas Vader was $50. Still a lot, but when you compare the two, like, because you get the diorama base with 89 Batman, like with it, if you're getting the all-in Catwoman, I think she comes with a diorama base. Is it 2 bodies or is it 1 body and then just the 3 head sculpts? I forget.
It's the big one, I believe, is 2 bodies and I think 4 head sculpts.
That's going to be a big box.
Yeah,
that's going to be a lot to ship. That scares me, and just because I don't know, I'm not saying it's bad or anything.
Right? No one's saying that.
I just don't know.
Don't know.
I fear change. So that's just kind of where I sit too. I'm kind of more with you, DLO. Like I might wait and see. Sure, I could miss out. Will I kick myself? Maybe.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
For me, I'm not. I wouldn't go all in and get like the 4 whatever.
Just
like
get the single pack.
I would have to decide which single pack I'd get. Yeah. But it's tough because all the head sculpts look good, and then you wish you picked another one. But
yeah.
But Catwoman is one of my favorite villains in all of Batman movies too.
Same.
Pfeiffer just killed this.
I'm gonna get to X-Man's super chat. Just 1 second here. I want to get to the customer service stuff. So Yost has always taken care of customer service in my experience from what I've seen. Jazzy heard they wouldn't replace the remote from one of their vehicles.
That's vastly different.
I know people that had paint issues, and there was some problems with how do I return this? Who's paying for it?
Gosh.
So, I've heard that in the past. This was a couple years ago. I'm sure Yost will step in if there's problems. But let's go back to X-Man Super Chat really quick. It says, venture into the unknown and reap the rewards, Graham. Face forward, or you face the possibility of shock and damage. Brody Bruce Mallrats.
It's a good movie.
Oh, man. Thank you for the Super Chat, my friend. What do I got for you? I'm gonna give you this one.
Well, what a nice surprise. You are a gentleman and a scholar.
Hey, I see you over there.
You honor me with your gesture.
I guess we know who your favorite Wolfpack member is.
Cheers. And thank you so much.
No, and X-Man's right. You got to venture into new things to, reap the rewards and stuff like that. I get that. I don't know. I want a Catwoman.
Same.
She's been on my list. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. And to tell you the truth, I really haven't thought too much about it. I haven't, Brick knows the different tiers of this. I know there's a big tier and then a single pack, but I couldn't tell you. I think I haven't done a lot of research, and I don't know if it's me just saying in the back of my head, Hot Toys is going to make this, so don't even pay attention. Maybe, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. But that's kind of what my mindset is, I think. So I haven't really looked too much into this, or maybe I just don't. I fear change, so I don't want to look into it because.
Yeah, it's tough because listen, it's for what you're seeing here. It looks fantastic,
and I know they're a good company. I'll just say that too. I know people have bought from them. I've heard of them. I know them, but at the same time, it's different. So go ahead.
But there's two sides to every story over here because people have good experiences with them, but also people have bad experiences with them. It's no different if you're looking at a hot toy. People will say good things about hot toys. People will say bad things about hot toys. It's a matter of your experience. So when it comes down to it, there. And Adric, I saw your comment. I'll get to you in a second. But when it comes to, because we got to talk, you and me, bro. This is every week with you now. But when it comes to this here, it's not a matter of hating on something. It's risk versus reward. That's what this is here. So, Adric, I've said this to you before in the past. I'm going to say it to you one time over. There's no hate. I can care less about any company. I care about my money, and I care about where I spend it. And I can choose where I put it. And that can be with InArt. That can be with Jazz Inc. That can be with anybody. But I'm assessing the risk. When I speak about this stuff, guys, it is not because, I'm a fanboy for Hot Toys. Oh, I hate it. It's not that. You're not listening to me if that's the case. When I talk about things here, I talk about specifically both sides of the conversation because a well-informed decision is the best decision for you. So when I talk about this, it's not specifically only for me. I'm looking at it from hey, if I'm watching somebody talk about the figures that I'm interested in, I want to know the good and the bad, and I want to make a decision for myself. If you like it, you can buy it. If you don't like it, you don't have to buy it. If you disagree with me, you don't have to agree with me. But if I gave you both sides of the conversation, I've done you a service to let you know, hey, you've heard both sides, and if you're still going to move forward with the figure, despite what you heard from me, good for you. That's a well-informed decision. That's all this is, man. So you got to quit it with this whole, oh, you're always hating on them. No, dude. I buy with what I want, just the way you do. But the difference is here, I want to make sure that if you're going to spend an hour, 2 hours listening to me ramble about shit, then I'm giving you all the information so you can go out there and make the best decisions for you. I hope that answers your question for the final time, because every week is the same thing, bro. Okay?
Yeah, Sorry. I think DLO just wants what's best for everybody, and we kind of around here we call him Big Daddy DLO just because he's like a father figure. So he's just always kind of
Daddy DLO.
he's just kind of like devil's advocate, looking out for everybody. So, but no, and I like I said, I'm familiar with Jazzing to a certain extent. I've just never made a purchase, so there's always that dipping your toe in and finally just jumping in. So we'll see. But what do you guys think the odds are that Hot Toys makes this now that Jazzing is coming out?
I think
Super
it's
high.
super high now. Yeah.
Yeah.
85 anniversary is this year. I know it's not technically a Batman figure, but people would drool over a Hot Toys Catwoman from Batman Returns, as part of that. So this is interesting, though. Luke says, my last experience with Jazzing was pretty disappointing, to be honest. 22 Batmobile came with scratched signature plate, missing a signature, and the door didn't close. Was told that it wasn't replaceable via the factory. Managed to open the door up myself, place the magnets in it, but disappointing for the price I paid. They never told me no. I just happened to figure it out myself. But if I could figure it out myself, why couldn't they? He did do a partial refund, though, so I accepted that. So, I've heard good things from Yost, that he wants to make things right and whatnot. But, yeah, it's no different than, going through Maju Case or Maju Space or, Unreal Customs or, Jackson, any of those guys, too. It's kind of like a small company that's just kind of doing commission work. This is licensed, but, yeah. To be fair, there are people who say good things about TW. Don't know if they're plants or what, but yeah. So, which one of these head sculpts do you guys like the most? And we do know that if Hot Toys does this, we're not getting 3 head sculpts. So,
Right.
maybe like 2 faceplates, maybe 3 faceplates, I guess. But yeah, which one do you guys like the most?
Out of these 3, I like the one on the. I kind of like the middle one, actually.
Little sensual Catwoman. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I were to only be able to have one.
How about you, DLO?
I kind of like the one on the left. I like that angry face. Really stands out to me. I do like the one on the right as well, too, because I can tell she's on the verge of finishing up her somersault in front of Batman and Penguin saying meow. I can tell.
Yeah.
That's
Put
perfect.
the hand like this kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Is Jazzing doing a like a neutral face or head sculpt? I know they're doing the battle damage as well. But interesting that there's no neutral head sculpt.
Yeah,
But
they
I do
have.
like all of these. All of these.
Yeah, looks good.
So
I guess that one in the
Yeah.
middle is the more neutral one. I guess with some flair.
this is open for pre-orders, right? Is it up for
No,
pre-orders?
no, it's not.
It's not?
It's
There
not.
still isn't? Interesting.
Because I
Didn't they
know
already
he was
announce
talking
the
about getting
packages already?
pre-orders.
It's not up for pre-order?
They've announced the packages, yeah, but
Hmm.
yeah, not up for pre-order yet.
Yeah, because I thought when he first showed renders, he thought pre-orders would be up within like 30 to 40 days.
Yeah.
I'm just going to the site quick and then I'll pull it back up just to see if we can see anything. Oh gosh. I don't like this. Nope. I went somewhere I probably shouldn't go. Let's try this again.
Please share your screen.
Yeah, it's like pop-ups. Pop-ups popping everywhere and all right. Let's see.
I was trying to look on my phone for the prices and everything because I have that photo saved somewhere. I just couldn't find it, but
All right, I'm such a noob. Help me out here, Brick. Where do I go? Got waitlist, all products.
I would just type it in at the top left there, but
Search.
I just don't know if she's up at all.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, if it was just on Facebook. So it looks, yeah, just on Facebook. So nothing yet. Okay. Did he talk about when he thought this might be?
I think Neil said it like September, October time is what
Okay.
he thought he heard
for the
somebody say.
pre-ordering.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Okay. Sean's made the neutral head sculpt already. This is hard not to pre-order. It's definitely FOMO, but I have a
I
feeling
know.
in art, J&D, and Hot Toys will get it.
What do you think? NR too. Okay.
I mean, in art's tough to get behind these days just because they are so slow.
Dude, where are they right now?
You're right.
Like,
Yeah,
they-
I'm not
they
waiting
haven't
10 years for
quiet.
another Catwoman.
They have been quiet. I don't think they have had any news for like.
You know, we were kind of joking when they finally released the 2022 Batman. We're like, oh, we'll get it in the fall. Here we are in September, and they're not even close to getting out all of their Batman figures either. I think that was March or April, if I'm correct, when they finally dropped that thing.
How many
So-
figures did they announce this year so far?
Announce?
Or I'm sorry, release.
Release? 1? Aragorn? And
Second
Batman
one.
2?
Yeah, 2.
I guess you can count technically Gandalf as well too, even though it was the year before, but it came in this year.
I'd count that as last year. They just took forever to get it to everybody.
Yeah, I mean they look great. It's just they need to figure some of that out.
Jesse. Busy posting and making rock and grass dioramas.
Now I heard another company does that. They just slap their name on it. Is that true? Has anybody heard that as well?
I haven't heard that.
I could see that.
Like the dioramas were made by another company, but they just slapped their name on it.
Wow.
Not heard that.
I heard that somewhere.
I'm gonna go to Facebook and make sure we didn't miss any announcements because I know Hot Toys is dying to drop something. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see. I might change my mind on the Catwoman. Who knows? I'm like a dog chasing cars. Just kind of go whichever way I hear movement. But yeah, trying this new discipline thing. It's working pretty well. Vader should be here tomorrow. I'm going to try to get that review in by Friday, but if not, I'm going to try to get it done this weekend and get that video to you guys. And then next week I might do my collection tour, but life's been pretty busy, so we'll see. But yeah, I think we're going to call it a night here. Brick, what do you got going on your channel, man?
Yeah, so Wolfpack every Wednesday, obviously. I'm also doing Bugo 6 every other Monday, which is another live stream. That's every other Monday at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. I got some fun stuff going on there. Got a big show coming for that on October 7th with a really big guest. I'll announce that in a couple of weeks. And I'm working on a video, and can't wait to put that out hopefully this week. With football starting up, though, no promises. But I'm gonna try to get that out no later than Saturday. It probably will be Saturday because then Sunday I'll be busy again. And actually, Saturday I'm busy too. I don't know. I'm gonna get it out by Saturday. I'm gonna find a way. But yeah. Other than that, man, just enjoying life.
I was talking to Brick the other day about him switching from Monday nights because football's starting. And he's like, well, I can't do Wednesdays. And who's on this night? Or what? Who's streaming on this night? And he's like, oh, shit. He's like, I might just do Sunday afternoons. I'm like, what? He's like, oh, shit, that won't work either.
I was going to say, wait,
that's
even
the
worse.
worst time to do it.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Maximum amount of
The whole reason he was looking to possibly go to a different day, and then he goes to like smack dab when all the football is. So it was just funny. But
that is pretty hilarious. It's a good thing for me. If I ever decided I wanted to stream during football season, it wouldn't matter much because I already know the outcome of my games. So for me, my schedule is wide open if I ever decide to jump into the whole streaming stuff over here. So
Yeah.
Could be worse. Can always be worse, Rick.
DLO, what's going on in your neck of the woods over in Florida?
Oh man, home stretch, baby.
I see a lot more cases than last week.
Studio is almost done. I got 2 more cases to build. Got to put some figures back in there. Got to wire some stuff. I'm waiting for a rush piece for my mod case. Something was missing in my packaging, so I needed to wait for that so I can finish up. So I took my time. Room is looking good. It's looking good, and it's looking like shit at the same time. It's messy in here. A lot of stuff you don't see in camera that looks like terrible, but almost done. Very excited with the results so far. Shout out to Graham, by the way, for 2 things. One, the risers, such a game changer. If you guys have not seen his video on that, I strongly recommend doing it, whether it's for a Maja case or any other kind of display. Just elevating those cases just a little bit makes such a world of difference, and instantly just elevates how your display looks there. So definitely, if you haven't already, take a look at that video. And also, shout out to you once again for helping me remind myself how much I hate building Monster cases. But with your guidance in your videos, it has made it less painful. I have less cuts and bruises, and I bled less this time than the first time. So yeah, so shout out to you, dude. Appreciate everything you do with the channel, with your videos, and everything there. So I'm almost done with mine. I'm recording the footage as I go along, so it's going to be some interesting stuff. I'm going to have to blur out a lot of F-bombs, but I will figure that out. It might be a 2-minute video when I cut out all the profanity. But yeah, figures are piling up in the living room. I've got like a handful at this point to kind of get through, and I got more coming in. I think Mantis arrives on Friday. I just got my notice from the Imperial Commander coming in, so yeah, it's going to be pretty busy stuff here. But once this is done over the weekend, I'm shooting for, I should start filming, get all the backlog of stuff that I already have recorded, finish that up, and start posting content again. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Awesome, man. I realized I still had this Beetlejuice thing still up, but my Safari tabs aren't working anymore. Actually, they're not loading. So, but look like 69% would prefer the Hot Toys Beetlejuice 2 over Sideshow Beetlejuice 1. So just an FYI on that. Well, boys, we missed Sneaker, but at the same time, we didn't really miss him. We'll show one off without a hitch, so. He knows we missed him. It's all good. Hope you guys have a good rest of the week. Enjoy some football. Enjoy collecting. And collect cautiously, as Sneaker says. So, good seeing y'all. Thank you for watching, and we will be back next week. Wolfpack out. Good night.